After wandering in the wilderness for 40 long years, the people of Israel finally stood on the edge of the promised land. Moses had died, and God had chosen Joshua to lead his people into the land he had promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Their first great obstacle was the mighty city of Jericho. Jericho was one of the oldest and strongest cities in the world. Massive stone walls surrounded it, making it nearly impossible for any army to break through. The gates were tightly shut because the people had heard how God had parted the Red Sea and defeated powerful kings for Israel. Fear filled the hearts of Jericho's people. As Joshua looked at the city, he wondered how they could ever conquer such a fortress. But God had a plan unlike anything anyone had ever imagined before the battle. Joshua went out alone near Jericho. Suddenly, he saw a man standing before him with a drawn sword in his hand. Joshua asked, "Are you for us or for our?" The man replied, "Neither. I have now come as the commander of the army of the Lord." Joshua immediately fell face down in worship. The commander said, "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy." Joshua obeyed, knowing he was in God's presence. Then the Lord gave Joshua unusual instructions. "You shall march round the city once each day for 6 days. Have 7 priests carry 7 trumpets made from ram's horns before the Ark of the Covenant. The soldiers shall march ahead of the ark and behind it. But no one is to shout or speak a single word until I command you." It sounded like a strange battle plan. There were no battering rams, no ladders, and no weapons attacking the walls. But Joshua trusted God completely. The next morning, the people prepared exactly as God had commanded. The armed soldiers marched first. Behind them came the 7 priests blowing their trumpets. The Ark of the Covenant followed, reminding everyone that God himself was leading them. The rest of the Israelites marched behind the ark in complete silence. As they walked around the city, the people of Jericho watched from the walls. Some laughed, some mocked, others wondered why the Israelites simply marched without attacking after one trip around the city. Joshua led everyone back to camp. That was all. They did the same thing happened on the second day. Again they marched silently around Jericho. The priests continued blowing the trumpets still. No one spoke. The people inside the city became even more confused. Day after day the same strange march continued. On the 3rd day, the 4th day, the 5th day, and the 6th day nothing seemed to happen. Yet Joshua and the Israelites kept obeying God without question. Sometimes God's plans do not make sense to us, but His power is revealed through faithful obedience. Finally, the 7th day arrived. This day would be different. Early in the morning, Joshua gathered the people. He reminded them that the city had already been given into their hands by the Lord. Then the Israelites began marching, one time around the city, then a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, finally, a 7th time. The priests continued blowing their trumpets. Joshua then shouted, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city." At once, every Israelite lifted their voice with a mighty shout. The sound echoed across the land. Then something incredible happened. The mighty walls of Jericho began to shake. The ground trembled beneath everyone's feet. Stone after stone cracked apart. The huge walls collapsed completely, creating openings all around the city. No human army had knocked them down. God Himself had done it. The Israelites charged straight into Jericho and captured the city exactly as God had promised. One family, however, was spared. It was Rahab and everyone inside her house. Rahab had hidden the Israelite spies weeks earlier because she believed that the God of Israel was the true God, as promised. The scarlet cord hanging from her window marked her home, and the Israelite soldiers rescued her family before the city was destroyed. Rahab later became part of Israel and, generations later, became one of the ancestors of Jesus Christ. Joshua then declared that Jericho belonged to the Lord. The victory was not won because Israel had a stronger army. It was won because God fought for His people. The story of Jericho teaches us powerful lessons that still apply today. First, God can overcome obstacles that seem impossible. The walls of Jericho look too strong to fall. But nothing is impossible for God. Second, obedience is better than understanding. The Israelites obeyed even when God's instructions seemed unusual. Third, faith requires patience. For 6 days, nothing appeared to change. Yet God was working behind the scenes. Finally, God always keeps His promises. Everything happened exactly as He had said. The God who brought down the walls of Jericho is still the same today. Whatever walls stand in your life, fear, doubt, discouragement, or impossible circumstances, trust in Him. Walk in obedience. Remain faithful. And believe that God's timing is perfect. If this story encouraged you, remember that with God, no wall is too high, no problem is too great, and no battle is impossible to win. Thank you for watching. May God bless you richly. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this inspiring Bible story with your family and friends so that more people can discover the power of God's Word.